So hello everybody, welcome to another video, and today I just felt like doing a list of 10 things that we know about the Duviri paradox so far. So number 1, we know it is an alternate start to the whole game. If you're a new player and you start playing the game, you can either play the game normally or you can go down the paradox route. And I think that everyone that has played the game at some point will agree that going down the paradox route is going to be the way to go. Because the normal game has had 10 years worth of stuff sort of jumbled together into a somewhat hard to follow mess, especially if you're completely new and you don't know how things work. So having a relatively straightforward way to start the game via the paradox is going to be much better. Number 2, there are 3 ways to play the Duviri paradox. There is the Duviri experience, which is the story, side objectives and all the distractions. The lone story, which is just the story with none of the side objectives or distractions. And then the circuit mode, which is basically an endless mode. Number 3, you'll be able to power your drifter up with various intrinsics, kind of like with Railjack, and the drifter also has access to melee combat, which is very cool as well. You gain intrinsics to level up the trees by just doing things within the paradox. Number 4, there's a horse that you can ride on and you can customize it if you want to. Also, horse has wings. Number 5, while you can fish in the paradox, it is done via a minigame where you chase the fish down with a maw, so it's very different to the normal style of fishing that we do in the other open worlds. Number 6, while the overworld is made exclusively for the drifter, there's also an underground section called the Undercroft, which is made for Warframes. Number 7, whenever you want to do a run in the Duviri paradox, you first have to choose your Warframe and weapons from a handful of options that are presented to you. But what if you don't have a lot of Warframes and or weapons? Well, this is where the loaner system kicks in. You don't have to own a Warframe and or weapon for it to show up in one of these selections. But it's still beneficial if you do own these items, because then you get to customize the build. If you don't own the item and you pick it, it's just gonna have a predetermined genetic setup. Number 8, we're getting a ton of new Incarnon weapons, and the way it works is actually a little bit different to the original Incarnon weapons. In short, you can get Incarnon adapters for a variety of different weapons in the Duviri paradox, which you then attach to any variant of that weapon to activate its Incarnon mode. Number 9, let's talk a little bit more about the circuit game mode, because there are 2 versions of it. There is the normal version and the Steel Path version, and they have very different rewards. The Steel Path version is how you get Incarnon adapters for different weapons, whereas the normal version is an alternative way to farm Warframes. Except it's actually a little bit more than that, because when you pay attention to what's actually going on screen, when Rebecca selects Trinity, you can see that you don't just get Trinity, you also get Shell Compression, Pistol Ammo Mutation, Vampire Leech, the Sonic Ore, and 2 different arcanes. Now the circuit takes place exclusively in the Undercroft, so it's Warframe only. From what I can tell, there is no drifter action in the circuit, and it's basically just a string of endless missions. So it might start off with a 5-minute survival, then you have to do a bit of excavation, then you might have to do a little bit of, let's just say, Void Flood, and so on and so on and so on. And finally, we of course have to talk about the roguelike elements that will be present in the Duviri paradox. Every time you finish an objective in the paradox, and from what I understand this goes for both the Undercroft as well as the surface, you'll be able to choose one out of a few decrees that will provide you with a buff until the end of the run. They sort of shake up the runs a little bit every time, which I think is good. I like roguelike games, I'm a massive fan of the Risk of Rain series, so I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And there we go, those are 10 things that we know about the Duviri paradox so far. I'm really excited for this update and I cannot wait for it to finally come out. And by the way, since some people don't know this, the Duviri paradox is coming out on the 26th of April, which is Wednesday. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video and maybe you learned something new about the Duviri paradox that you didn't know before, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.